here we are in the heat wave that is known as the summer in the Southwest. Welcome, folks, back to the Hashira Half Hour. We are back from our little hiatus in Japan. Funny enough, we have the Tokyo Treat box with us. We are so thankful to Tokyo Treat for them sponsoring this episode. Of course, if you don't know what Tokyo Treat is, they are a monthly snack subscription box. They provide up to 20 different snacks and drinks that are provided from Japan. They're usually limited time items you can only get in Japan, and they're being sent right to your doorstep. So why not take a little taste test of Japan and bring it to your home?
It's kind of nice to have this box as soon as we get home too, because it's like helping ease us back into life outside of Japan.
The theme for this month is Japan Snackfari. With the theme, Japan Snackfari, Tokyo Treat would invite you to experience Japan's animal kingdom with this month's box packed with wild treats that are sure to take you on a snack safari. Inspired by Japan's kawaii animals. Did I do well?
Kawaii.
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 I was really proud of that too. It's fine. Hannah's here to humble me. Kawaii animals. This box will have you discovering all sorts of fun-filled flavors. So we've got all kinds of good stuff in here. Looks like there's going to be some salted caramel Kit Kats, which I know I'm excited about. Terrific Tiger Cognac Jelly, Lucky Giraffe Mayo Curry Chips, Grape Paw Gummies, Vegetable Animal Crackers, Animal Unchaco, and Fiery Fox Radish Bites. Every month's box always includes a nice little themed booklet that has all of the details about what you are about to eat. So that's really helpful for those of us who are still working on our Japanese, even after coming back and being humbled a lot on our trip. But if you're not able to read the packaging, no worries. There's all kinds of information in here about what you're going to eat and what the allergens or ingredients are going to be if you have an allergy or just a preference. I really enjoyed, actually, the Cheetos this time.
I think I'm going to go with the curry mayo chips.
My favorite was probably also the mayo curry. Thank you so much to Tokyo Treat for sending us another amazing and delicious box. If you want to get your hands on your own Tokyo Treat box straight to your doorstep, if you use the code Hashira using the link in our description, you can get $5 off your first box. Again, the link in the description, code Hashira, $5 off your first box. With that, let's get into today's episode.
So, we went to Japan, and now we're back.
Unfortunately.
Sadly. We're sad to report that we are back from Japan.
Literally.
Terrible news. We've arrived back in the United States. Ooh.
Oof.
Yoink, Scoob. But, on the positive note, we like to end the news on the positive side of things here, like they say in the Simpsons movie. We had a great time. The Family Mart jingle still plays in my head at night. We want to talk about the, fun times we had there, all the things we did, kind of just going through our trip, giving you maybe some tips, some pointers on maybe if you want to plan a trip to Japan, what to look out for, some of our favorite foods, just kind of a recap.
Should we let Emily go first? Because
I had a pretty good time in Japan.
Oh, did you?
I did. You guys know.
she had a great time in Japan. The people listening are going to be like, what's happening?
What's happening? I got engaged.
Yay!
I got engaged. Woo! Tom proposed, which is very exciting. We've been together a very long time, and I guess he's had this ring for a while, but he was waiting for the trip to Japan specifically. And it just took a while to get there because it was closed for a very, very long time when the world stopped in 2020. Mm-hmm. They were closed the longest, and then everybody wanted to go, and we just waited a little bit, but I'm so glad that it happened when it did because we got to go with all our friends. We immediately had like a close circle that we got to celebrate with right after it had happened, like literally right after it had happened. Mm-hmm. And It was perfect. He proposed in the Mount Fuji area, which regardless of whether this had happened or not, I would highly, highly recommend that you prioritize making that a part of your trip because it was my favorite part. I think it was the most relaxing part. I think it was the least crowded. Absolutely beautiful, and it's worth staying overnight, at least one night. Yeah. I think. Stay in an onsen, a ryokan, and just relax and enjoy the beautiful views because it's gorgeous. And if you can time it correctly with the cloud cover, I think that it was a good thing that we ended up doing 2 days because the first day was kind of cloudy. in Mount Fuji, and he was stressed about that. He's like, I'm trying to get the picture with like everything. But the second day, it was like totally clear skies, and you could see Fuji-san in all his glory. Mm-hmm. So it was perfect.
And then the third day, it was cloudy again.
Yep.
As we left, it was like, where's Fuji-san? Oh, we can see the bottom of it.
It comes up on you. You're like, oh, I kind of see it. And then you see it on the train. You're like, wow. But then you're there. You're like, oh, my God. It's huge.
Huge. Yeah.
And it's like wide. More than it's like, I don't know, unsurmountingly tall. It's that it's like so, it covers so much area.
It's so wide, but it's also standalone, which is what made it interesting to me. I feel like I've seen so many tall mountains, but it's like surrounded by other shorter mountains. So it's like, yeah, it's the tallest peak. But like Fuji-san, there's mountains around, but it stands on its own too. So it's just like, just there in front of you, and you're like, whoa,
what is happening?
Crazy.
It's beautiful.
Tall.
I feel like the main thing is that like we live in a space with not a lot of tall buildings, so like we see the open sky a lot more, and so to see something that just took up so much presence and so much like surface area in the view was amazing. Some of the things I want to share about the trip, one of my favorite parts about the trip, for those who listen only, I have many tattoos. Now with that being said, he had tattoos up and down his arms. All right, anyways, I did get a new tattoo. For those of you watching, you can kind of see it, maybe, question marks. But it's a Daruma doll with a snake. The snake is like protecting the Daruma doll, kind of like, like curled up around it. It's a red Daruma doll. It's a black snake with a yellow belly. Let's see. Yeah, it's not filled in either, so fun story about that. I don't have a wish to make yet. So Daruma dolls, those who don't know, are two things. They are wishing dolls, so you fill in one eye when you make your wish. I have not filled it in because I don't have a wish to make yet. I'm also very superstitious, and I'm very concerned about putting ink on my body that's connected to like a spiritual thing. I don't know. It's kind of in the same vein, don't put someone's name on your body until they're dead kind of thing. Like, I don't know. Second thing is it's about resilience. When like the Daruma doll itself, it has a weight in the bottom, so when you push it over, it stands back up. It's actually one of the first tattoos I've ever wanted. I can remember wanting this since like 5th or 6th grade. Because I remember seeing, controversial show, Ink Master, I know. Yeah, I just remember seeing the tattoo on it and remember seeing kind of what it meant and what it was about. And I've always wanted it since then. So with that being said, I finally got it. So one of my life goals achieved. Also, random life goal I achieved, I finally sat at an airport lounge. I felt so bougie.
Hell yeah.
I've been asked quite a few times since I got home, like, what my favorite part about it was, and every time I've been like, I can't tell you that. Like, there's too many amazing things that happen to me and us and everyone involved on this trip. I would have to say I do agree with Emily. Like, obviously nothing big happened to me in Fuji, but I really enjoyed that part of the trip. For my husband and I, we had already been in Japan for 2 weeks at that point, and the fatigue is strong in Japan. I will warn people, you are going to walk a lot and you are going to have sore feet.
Yeah.
I tried my best to get like the most comfiest shoes I could find, and my feet still hurt every single day. So it was really nice, like halfway through, to kind of take a little break, even though we were still very busy. We did some hiking, like we were still out and about, but having the onsen inside the room was really nice. And like, obviously I know like we were very privileged to be able to afford to do such a nice ryokan for a couple of nights, because it was a very expensive like bougie thing that we splurged on. But getting to stay in the like traditional room and sleep in the futons was also really, really fun. So I'm gonna shout out Fuji, and also I'm just so happy for our friends that got engaged, and so excited for the wedding and just everything that's gonna come with that. But I also got a tattoo, and it's my first tattoo, and I was terrified.
Can confirm.
Yeah, I think it was Johnny and my husband up there with us while I got it done, and they both said that they were very proud of me because I handled it very well. But it is on the back of my arm, and it does say Kokoro Moyase on it, which is, of course, set your heart ablaze. And fun fact, the day that we're recording this was, it's Rengoku's birthday. So Kokoro moyase. I wasn't sure about ever putting an anime-related tattoo on my body just because it's permanent and I always tend to kind of cycle through the hyperfixations. I'm not going to be this into Demon Slayer for my entire life. However, Set Your Heart Ablaze has like touched me in more ways than just the way it does from the anime. I think that it's such a powerful quote to like use in life in general when maybe you're feeling down or like things are happening to you. Like remind yourself to set your heart ablaze and keep pressing forward. And it also just like correlates to my favorite character in Demon Slayer because it made a huge impression on him as well. So that's kind of the reason why I wanted to put it on my body, and I'm really, really happy. I love the placement, and I'm doing great. It felt like a cat was scratching me for the most part. I was surprised by how little it hurt. Although I will say I can tell if I was sitting there for much longer, it would have been tough. Because every time he started to fill things in, I was like, oh, okay. A little sore there now.
A little tender.
Yeah.
But I feel like as soon as you're done, like as soon as they're like, oh, okay, you're done, like it really is, like the majority of the pain is already over at that point.
And it's gone like a little bit itchy at times, and I've had to remind myself to not scratch at it. Because it's also hard since it is in a place that I just don't see. I have to like turn around and look at it. Sometimes I've surprised myself like in the mirror. I'm like, oh, right, I have a tattoo. Same thing happened to my husband too. We were like in the bathroom, and he was like, oh, you have a tattoo, I forgot. So it's gonna take a little bit of getting used to it, but I'm really, really happy, and I think I'm definitely gonna get another one at some point. Don't know what yet. It might be Demon Slayer related still, but who knows? Keep you updated on that. But that being said, very roundabout way, because I'm a professional yapper, of saying overall my favorite thing was just getting to hang out with these guys so often. I like literally, we got home like a week ago, and this entire week I'm like, I miss my friends, because we got to like hang out with each other every single day while we were there.
Yeah.
And we were just like trying out these cool places. We were running into super drunk Japanese people and being told have a nice day, and then running into someone and saying sumimasen and then giggling about it, and drinking drinks that were as big as our heads, and just like having so much fun, you know, staying out late, eating the best food that we've had, you know, it was
like
just,
ever.
Yeah, it was
for
just,
super, super cheap.
Yeah. So that would be like, if I had to really pinpoint it, I know that's not really a pinpoint, that's a very long period of time, but getting to do that was so much fun.
Highly recommend traveling with your best buds.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth it. I also got a tattoo. I did.
Secondary to the other big thing.
Secondary to the other big thing. My mom doesn't know yet. She's gonna find out tomorrow, and she's probably not gonna like it, but that's okay because I like it. I got Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service, and that was another fun thing that we did. That wasn't all of us together, but Brian and I and Johnny and Tom went to the Ghibli Park in Nagoya, which was also a bit of a detour from like the rest of the trip that we were doing. But if you're a Ghibli fan, I would recommend going at least once. It was really, really cool. We actually probably could have spent like more time. We didn't even really make it to like the Totoro part of the park, which is sad, but we were just like so enraptured by the rest of it that it was like the day just flew by. So if you can make it out to Nagoya. I actually also think Nagoya was like a little bit quieter than some of the other cities, and like, but still had a lot of the same stuff that you might want to do, so that could be potentially like a good alternative to one of the other big cities in the Golden Three. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Japan,
highly recommend.
2026?
I wish.
Highly recommend going off the beaten track.
True. While I talked about the tattoo, I didn't know that I was starting favorite moments of the trip, so I was just hoping to start talking about tattoos, but then we all went in favorite moments. So I guess my favorite moment would be probably while we were in Osaka in Dotonbori, and Emily it was like my husband Johnny and Tom were both asking me like if I was okay, and Emily said it best: no, he's having his Ratatouille moment. And I literally started crying over takoyaki. I literally was like in tears because this takoyaki that I had was so good. I it was like, it's just something when you see like all the lights and you see all the people and these people who literally only make takoyaki, but they're so skilled at what they do. Like just watching the guy work his sticks and flipping these like at such a crazy rate, and it's so good. Like everything just came together, and I'm like, this is Japan. Like it was just so crazy to be in a place where I got to experience something so new and something that just made me feel so many things. Secondary favorite moment of the trip would be the Universe of Falling Flowers at Team Lab Planets. That was another like existential like thing. I don't want to give away too much about it because if you ever end up going, there's something that's really cool about it. But it's a lot of images and floral patterns that you just see. It's like a visual working art piece that was just really beautiful. Also made me cry because it was just so powerful and you feel so encapsulated. So I guess I would say those are the two moments that really stick out to me because I felt that nothing else in the world mattered at that moment. It was like I was able to be in the moment, which is something that I do struggle with a lot. So I'm really glad that I had the chance to really be in the present.
It was such a good trip.
It's so hard to even, I mean, I feel like I have an obvious moment to pick as a favorite, but it really is hard to pick. It's like I would need to pick at least one from each section of the trip, I think, at least. Rattle a few off before we probably wrap the episode up, but like, I actually had a lot of fun going to the famous bar in Tokyo. It was expensive, but it's worth doing one time with the Bar Centifolia with the guy who does like the crazy bartending with like throwing fire across the counter. Like it was really small, which made it feel kind of nice, like a very intimate experience. Mm-hmm. It really is about the show a little bit more than like the actual drinks. The drinks were still good, but that was fun. Team Lab Planets was definitely worth it, I think. If you go Google it and you see the reviews that are like, don't go there, like I don't see why not. It was beautiful. It was doable in an afternoon, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Fuji, obviously, we already talked about. Kyoto was really incredible. It was really busy. I would definitely like more time in Kyoto at some point in the future. But all kinds of fun stuff. We ate a lot of really good meals. We saw like the city part of Kyoto. We saw lots of beautiful temples in Kyoto. Just gorgeous. We all stayed in an Airbnb together, which was really fun. Next time I'd probably book it on the other side of town, but that's a different story. It was still fun. We got the true Japanese train experience that morning because of that.
Oh my god!
Should we tell the story? If anyone's seen those like Instagram reels where you see these people on a train like literally forcing themselves on when it's obviously full, and you look at that and you're like, they do that in Japan? Yes, we lived it because we were on a train to Kyoto Station during rush hour. And the thing about that is that everyone getting on that train is not getting off until Kyoto Station because everyone's trying to get to work. Or there's the few foreigners that are trying to get to a big thing to go to. And we were, 5 stations before Kyoto when we got on? And we got on and it was already full. And then we get to the next station, and there's probably 20 people waiting to get inside the car, and we're like, oh, not even everyone on this one's going to get in. Oh, they all got on. And every single station after that, they all got on. And we were, I think Emily and I were like inches away from having to kiss. Because we were so
having to kiss
close.
each other, having to kiss the weird grunting guy that was next to us.
Yeah.
It was like pressing up. And I was like kind of mad at Tom and Jordan for not standing next to us, actually. And I'm like, you needed to shield us.
Yeah,
you went
from
over
the
to
random
the other side.
salarymen that are like having, like they have no choice but to touch us. They're not, I don't think they were trying anything, but.
Could they have been enjoying it though? Probably. We're cute.
So, if you ever see those reels and you think, that's not real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
And it happened to us.
That was maybe my least favorite moment on the trip.
That was very uncomfortable.
If I had to pick.
Getting squashed against a window.
I really don't have that many things that I didn't like. Mostly just that my feet really hurt and probably that train.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing about that train. 2 things. It was so full, the windows inside the train started to fog. That is how much heat.
We couldn't even see.
Literally. And so there's part 1. And then Jordan Hannah's husband was like watching me at some point during the train, and apparently I said, "Oh my God, there's more," and more people got on the train.
Just when you think it's like there's literally no way. No, they find a way because they got to get to work on time.
There's like somebody crowd surfing through it.
Oh my God.
And then when we got off at Kyoto Station, Jordan got dragged off of the train backwards and almost like hurt himself because there was a big gap in between the train and the platform, but he was getting pushed off backwards. And people were like holding on to things because everyone was trying to get off. Oh my gosh, like Japanese people are very like chill and like mind their business, but they are another beast on those trains. If they got to get to work on time, so they got to get to work on time.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Honey Badger don't care.
Yeah.
Honey Badger don't give a shit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about your favorites, so I was like, okay, so my favorite.
There's so many favorites. The whole trip is a favorite.
The whole trip
Right.
was a favorite.
The whole trip was a favorite.
So, do we
Yeah.
want to just, if any of our listeners are like planning to go or maybe hope to someday go, I think a lot of us, I think we probably have a few things we would like tell people to maybe
Or
try and do or steer
do
away
differently.
from, or
Yeah.
do differently than what we did. I would say, I kind of touched on it, go off of the beaten path. You know, everyone does Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that, and it was great. But I would say, if you can, try and go to Mount Fuji, which is still kind of technically part of the Golden Route. But try and go to Mount Fuji.
And stay there.
And stay there. Like, stay the night there at least once. My biggest advice, though, is to go to a little city called Kanazawa, which they didn't get to go to. Jordan and I hit that before they all got there. Kanazawa, I would honestly do that for a few days and skip Kyoto next time. For me, personally. I know, like, Emily might not agree with that, but she didn't get to see what Kanazawa is all about. Kanazawa is essentially Kyoto with less crowds. It doesn't have as many, like, big attractions as Kyoto does, but if you're really just looking for that more traditional experience and getting to go to, like, a geisha district, and Kanazawa also has a samurai district that is still standing from when it was built 400 years ago. If you want to do the kimono rental, Kanazawa has that all for a quarter of the crowds. So I can't stress to anyone enough. And I know, like, as I say this, the more I tell people, the more crowded it's going to get, right? But Kanazawa was just one of the highlights for me because it really was that, like, quintessential Japan experience. You got partly, like, in the city, and then you also got to experience the traditional buildings and stuff, but it just wasn't as crowded. And that's my biggest suggestion. Go to Kanazawa, go to Nagano, go to Fukuoka, go to Hiroshima. Try places that are not where everyone goes, because you're gonna have just as much fun with way less people touching you.
No Kyoto train.
No Kyoto trains. That's my
Took the
suggestion.
Kyoto train going anywhere. It was not going anywhere.
It was
My body was, in many different ways.
Ooh.
kind of like this.
Buy the foot gels. And when I say that, buy foot band-aids, because here's the thing. I got foot blisters while I was there. I still have a foot blister. Kind of gross, but like, you will be doing 15,000
Minimum steps a day.
Yeah, like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you are not driving a car in Tokyo. Like, you are walking. It's like everywhere we went, there was some form of walking. So if you are, like, mobility limited, or you think that, like, you need to work your way up to this trip, like, transparently, I had to work myself up to this trip, and I was not prepared for it. And I took that personally on the days that it hurt, because it hurt. But I was like, I'm having so much fun, I don't want to miss out on this. So I would say, come prepared to walk a lot. have your time like tables, and if you need more time to get more places or you want to go at a slower pace, really plan your days out so that way you can go at a pace you enjoy. Buy the foot gels for recovery. I swear those things have magic in them because I did feel so much better after putting them on my feet and on my calves. And buy some Band-Aids. Also, while you're there, definitely try some of the cold medicines or try and bring some of those home if you can, because let's be real, they have great stuff.
I got sick in Fukuoka and was better the next day after I took some medicine. Like it works.
On that same or like very similar note, spend the $11 on the taxi on the times that you're like absolutely exhausted and you cannot fathom walking another 2 miles back to your hotel.
Yeah.
It's worth the $11. And again, like you don't super need to tip very highly, if at all. The only time I ever really tipped was in the Uber that we took because it was an option in the Uber app, and it was a very nominal amount, even to give him the full amount that he deserved. I wish I had eaten more, actually, on the trip. We were just moving so much, and I was trying to prioritize doing things, I think, in the moment as well, because stuff opens late and closes early almost everywhere that we went. I actually don't think that we ever really had days where we ate like 3 square meals, to be honest. We would have like a really big dinner, and like you could stop at the konbini anytime and get whatever, but I wish that I had eaten at like more restaurants and had just had more Japanese food.
Yeah.
Try everything. Try like the curry, try the sushi, try the katsu dinner. Try like a little bit of everything because it's all good, it's all so cheap. Get the lemon sour on the side, get the Sapporo beer or the super dry on the side, and just like have a good time.
If you see a food stand that looks good, get it.
Just get it.
Try it.
And just do it in the moment. That'd be my other piece of advice. Like if you see something you want to buy, just do it in the moment. Because if you're thinking to yourself, I don't know if I'm gonna like have room for this, or I don't want to have to carry it, you're not gonna get back to that same place. Okay, so controversial opinion. I don't think I needed 3 days in Osaka. I would like to make it more off the beaten path and go to some of these other towns that are kind of like Kyoto, but I do wish I'd had a little bit more time in Kyoto instead of Osaka. And I think that like hauling all the stuff between the different hotels just took a bunch of time too, and like that, because we were in the Airbnb, that was one part where we couldn't use the luggage forwarding, so I'm like, I kind of wish I had just anchored myself in Kyoto for that part and then like gone to Osaka on the train for like a day trip. I think like one long day in Osaka could have been fine, in my opinion, minus the fact that Tom and I got our tattoos in Osaka. But if we hadn't done that, I'm like, I think that like we could have done one really long, fun day in Osaka. I still don't regret it because we had a lot of fun all together in Dotonbori and like just having a good time, but I think that's what I personally would do next time, assuming that I was like traveling to all the same cities. And to be honest, next time I probably would go off the beaten path first, but if I was going to go back, I don't know that I need to go to Osaka again on this like next immediate trip. But if you're going to Osaka, the okonomiyaki is a must. It's absolutely a must, and get the Hiroshima style, or just go to Hiroshima and get it there.
Yeah, unfortunately I went to Hiroshima and didn't get to try okonomiyaki. We tried a couple spots, but they were all full. You'll see that a lot too. You'll pick somewhere that you want to go to, and then there'll be a sign that says we're full. A lot of small like izakayas and just restaurants are like that. So my suggestion with food is, if you're not going to do the ones that need to be reserved ahead of time because they're super popular, just walk around until you find something that's open that you like. Don't be like, oh, this one on Google Maps has these amount of reviews and these amount of stars, let's go there, because half the time when we did that, which sometimes that worked out, but half the time when we did that, it was full. So, like, just find something that you like. Just walk around. There's restaurants everywhere. And you can walk down those back alleys.
Some of our best meals were that way.
Yeah.
We went to an izakaya in Fuji, and it was like everywhere else was slammed in Fuji at the moment because it was like a weekend with the sun out in Mount Fuji. And there was like this random izakaya that I think people just passed over, and that was one of the highlights of the trip.
Yeah.
Was like all getting to sit together and just like have this like bar food and all these drinks.
Because the bar food there is good.
It is good. It's like actual food.
Yeah.
The nice thing was like it was immediately after Emily got proposed to, so we all got to have like a little celebration lunch brunch, so that was fun.
Yeah. It was great. It was perfect. All right. Well, if you want us to ever dive back into Japan and talk a little bit more about our adventures, let us know in the comments, because we definitely could keep going for hours and hours and hours talking about everything that happened. But I think that's probably good for today.
So with that being said, thank you so much for watching and listening. to this episode of the Hashira Half Hour, Hashira Half Hour. If you'd like to, go ahead and follow us on our Instagram at Hashira Half Hour, and on YouTube, we are at X at Hashira Half.
Thank you again to Tokyo Treat for sponsoring today's episode. If you're interested in grabbing your own Tokyo Treat Snackfari box, make sure to check out the link in our description below. Use code Hashira for $5 off of that first box. Until next time.
Umai.
Umai.
Umai!
Oh.
Why did ours sound so sad?
Happy
Brian's
birthday,
ready to go.
Rengo-san!
Happy birthday!
Rengo-san.